best episode thus far.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to pull my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. I know this is so late in the week, and I promise you, I'm so sorry about being behind like this, but you guys understand it's the SLVS is next week, and I am just behind with everything that I'm trying to do here. I watched the episode today, Saturday. I just got around to watching the episode, and I wasn't going to review. I said I was just going to start fresh next week and try to get my reviews done. And I watched the episode this afternoon. This was the best episode thus far. There was no way that I could actually go without doing a review. Let's just get started. This is Queen Sugar episode 6. We start right off. Nova is at a radio interview, and things just went kind of left. And it's one of those things where when part of your life is public, you end up, it all just gets rammed in together. And even though you don't want to talk about your private stuff, that kind of comes out. And that's what happened. Nova was there to talk about Too Sweet's case, but they brought up the stuff about Davis. She deflected it very, very well. The only problem is Aunt Vi was actually listening to the interview naturally. Charlie came in. She didn't hear the beginning part. So she didn't hear Nova upholding the family and saying, that she would not entertain her private business being discussed and all that. So Charlie didn't hear that. Charlie got upset with Nova. And then they ended up being able to hash it out later. But again, that's that thing where a misunderstanding can really turn into something really ugly. But they took care of it. There's a girl named Chantal who actually was there with Nova that was out there working on everything together, and they don't really know each other like that. They're just getting to meet each other. And baby, when I tell you that Chantal macked the shit out of Nova when they came out of because she, helped with everything. They came out of the interview and she gave baby lesbonics and she macked the shit out of Nova, and Nova's nose is kind of wide open. I said, oh. So we got to watch for Miss Chantal, honey. I said, okay. That's going to be interesting. Ralph Angel. My poor Ralph Angel done got jammed up with the jerks at work doing the extracurricular thing. They're stealing shipments of things. There was a cell phone shipment that they stole, and he done made a couple extra bucks and everything like that. Now, let me tell you about Aunt Vi, because Aunt Vi is a motherfucking rider, okay? I liked Aunt Vi from the beginning. Aunt Vi is a motherfucking rider, okay? Everybody needs a fucking Aunt Vi. She ain't missing shit. She ain't slow about shit. She cool as a motherfucking cucumber. Come on, Aunt Vi, bitch. But anyway, so Aunt Vi see something ain't right. What's up with that barn? That barn ain't never had no motherfucking lock on it. What's up with that? He ain't say nothing. Oh, the way things going up. She just looking at him. Okay. So, come on, Aunt Vi. She watching Ralph Angel. I'm like, that's right, girl. Watch Ralph Angel, honey. So she do all that, and we're going to get back to that in a minute. Just remember, Aunt Vi is a motherfucking rider, okay? So go on. We're moving on. Remy bring his little ass on up out to the farm, and they're getting all separate. They want to talk. He done macked the shit out of Charlie. Because he been after Charlie anyway. He's sniffing after her drawers, and she's allowing herself to be sniffed, but very, very, slightly. She's still doing what it is that she knows she's supposed to do. Well, Remy comes out and tells her, as far as the whole seed thing goes, there's going to be days It's like a long period of time they're going to lose trying to get what they really need. This, that, thing, the other. But here he has some seed that he has generated himself and created, and he hasn't been able to get anybody to take a chance on him and that kind of thing. And she was kind of looking at him and she says, okay, well, is there a refund policy? Because again, none of the other farmers want to take a chance on you. Now, what if I take a chance on you? Am I going to end up losing? He says, there's nothing to lose because I'm going to give it to you for free. I said, girl, you better. Ain't nothing to lose because you sitting on the money, bitch. Literally. So, boom, she's like, okay, all right. She trusts him. She went with her gut and her butt. So I said, okay, he done macked the shit out of Charlie. So I was sitting over there on the couch grinning. I was like, this is good shit here. So next thing we got, Nova actually talks to Too Sweet. He is literally, he was in the infirmary. They're getting ready to release him back into population. It's terrible, and he can't get anything going until he gets a lawyer. And he can't even get a public defender. There's a waiting list. No bail set, nothing. They're going to send him back in the population, which is going to be a problem. He told her on the phone, he's like, I'm not going to make it. I am not going to make it. Because now that spotlight's on him, they're going to kill him. They're going to try to kill him. You know what I mean? And he knows that. He told her, I'm not going to make it. She literally is saying, I can't get anything. You can't get anything until you get a lawyer. Well, how long is that going to take? Later on in the program, we see her cuss that motherfucking Davis out. Because Davis came with that old high and mighty narcissistic bullshit and made a couple comments and told he know how it is being a black man and blah, 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 blah. Honey Nova read his ass. The right act told him, you don't know nothing about being a black man. Not with your private jets and all your housemaids and all this shit, and you going to be so narcissistic to actually compare yourself with that shit that you did, whatever it is, because we don't know what you did, but we know you did something, and compare yourself to this child that's being railroaded? No, sir. Not today, Satan. Read his ass, and then she went, transferred $10,000 from one account to the other. And the last we seen of that, she was working on sending it to the bail bondsman to try to bail out Too Sweet. I said, come on, Nova. Nova is like a young Aunt Vi. She got her own way of doing things, but that bitch is a rider too. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. So I'm just happy. I've been happy with this whole thing. They had to, Mr. Prosper came out to the house. They were in the midst of that argument where Nova and Charlie had butted heads, and they were trying to pull it in, but it was happening right in front of everybody, in front of Remy, in front of Mr. Prosper. And that's when she said to Nova, you called the whore a victim. You literally sat on the radio and insinuated that my husband was a rapist. And she's like, it wasn't like that, Charlie. You didn't hear the whole thing. And she said, if she was so innocent, why is she demanding $3 million for it to go away, for us not to go to trial? And baby Aunt Vi perked her head up and said, now that's an expensive piece of ass. I said, yes, Aunt Vi. That goddamn Aunt Vi's too many things. So at that point, everybody was like, whoa, okay, because that screamed gold digger. So we all satisfied with it. They got everything together. Mr. Prosper did like old Southern people did, fuck all that other shit. Told them, this is what we're going to do. This is how it's got to be. This is what I want to be paid. I want this done the way your father would have it done. He didn't take no shit from them. He told them exactly what he expected and exactly what he was going to require. And ain't no ifs, no ands, and no buts. And they were like, okay, we're all in. We're all in. So that was that, and they have, I mean, got right to it and start doing what they need to do, and everything's looking good. Ralph Angel was trying to get out of the loop that he had got himself caught into, and the guys at work, they don't want to let him. Well, the one guy at work, he didn't want to let him get out of it, so he's like trying to strong arm him. We're going to bring things out to that farm. You're going to storm at that farm, this, that, thing, the other. Just trying to pimp him, you know. So Ralph Angel ends up getting into it. He was saying, he made a comment. He said, I'm thinking of going to Charlie and see if I can have Charlie sign off on my papers and I could work here 40 hours a week. But the only thing, I have to generate a paycheck. And only Charlie can do that. Charlie has the money to be able to pay him a 40-hour paycheck to do that. And I know that if Charlie knew all the details of what it was, she would do it in a heartbeat to keep him out of trouble. But he just, he's just not that open like that. So long story short, Ralph Angel and the guy, they go back and forth. The guy still, he said, I told you, I'm done with that. I'm not going to do it. Well, they get into a fight. So the employer is going to tell Ralph Angel, what are you trying to do here? Fighting and carrying on. Because they jumped him. Not just the one guy, the other guy, like three of them. Jumped Ralph Angel, beat him up. And stuff. They all shady, all in on it. He said, I just want you to lay me off. Just lay me off. And the guy's like, I ain't laying you off. You're fired. With that old trying to be the shit. He told me, he said, that's nice. He says, I'm sure your parole officer will be happy to hear that. He said, yeah, right while I'm telling him how my paychecks were short every week. He said, because see, I don't count real good, maybe, but I think he counts a little better than I do. So what you want to do? You want to fire me or do you want to lay me off? So the guy, he said, just get your shit and get out of here. So I was like, good, Ralph Angel. Very good. You took care of that. You did what you needed to do. Good. And you didn't break no laws too much, and you didn't cause too much of a ripple. Well, lo and behold, later on that night, he's out there feeding baby Blue. And here comes the police. They show up at the farm, tell what they need to search the property because the employer says anybody who's been let go needs to have their property searched for stolen goods. They thought they were going to really scream good. So we're in this whole thing. He takes his cell phone, gives the cell phone to little Blue, dials on 5, says, well, now if I get on the phone, you tell her to come over here. Police is here looking for something. You get on the phone. Tell her to get over here. Let's go to your room. Don't come out. Send him upstairs. So he goes out there and it's like, oh my God, I was about dying on the inside. So they're going straight to the barn. They're like, this, that, and the other. Because they had orders to go out there and check. They go out there and they check. And they say it's all clear. And Ralph Angel about died gasping for air. So much air flew up in his mouth. Like, I said, mm-hmm. So they said, okay, we're sorry about that. Have a good night. And they left. Because they knew they was out of order. So he stands in the barn and he looks. All the cell phones and shit is gone. Totally gone. So I'm thinking, motherfucking Aunt Vi. He turned around. Aunt Vi and got there already. She's standing in the doorway. And she said, they all here looking for stuff? He said, yeah. She said, they found anything? He said, no. She said, when he was standing in there, he was like, Aunt Vi, he said, she said, they're not going to. It's at the bottom of the bayou. And you can see him tear all up, honey, and he's told her, I'm sorry, Aunt Vi, this, that, the other. Hugged her, child. Then me, honey, then the waterworks started. Child, he hugged his Aunt Vi, honey. She patted him on the chest. She said, I know, boy, go on. Said, motherfucking Aunt Vi's a rider. I love her. So, Aunt Vi did that shit. Okay, so this is the other thing that I skipped. Remy and Davis finally met each other, and Davis already know shit don't seem right. That motherfucker look like he might be able to steal my woman. I was like, yes, God. So that didn't happen. Okay, so last thing, just when you thought it couldn't get no better. Because I kept looking at the time. I was looking at the time and I kept saying, "Now they're going to cut it. Please don't let them cut it. I need to see what's going to go on here." So they done went on down. We got Davis and Charlie, they're down there, and they got everybody's in the office, and they signed all the paperwork, so they paid us $3 million to Melina. And then, she wanted an apology, so they go into the little room, and the woman said, "Well, Melina is held off on signing her part of the paperwork until after the apology, so please make sure the apology is heartfelt and sincere. Let's get this over with." So they go and they sit down, and she starts telling her part of the story. And that bitch sat up there, and she told how she been fucking around with Davis for not one, not two, but 3 motherfucking years. She been fucking him. She's been his special call girl. She called Charlie's motherfucking son by name. Micah called and said he had an asthma attack and you had to leave. You left me. And when I came out of the shower, the other 2 players had told me that you said that they could have me, that you had already paid. And I told them that I know better than that Davis would never do that. She said, and they raped me. They raped me, and some of the other players joined in as well. She said, I went on home, and I knew that you were going to call, and I waited. And he's like, I never told them they could do that to you. She says, are you going to stand there and tell me that you're going to sit there and say that after the things you said to me? He's sitting up there, woman, pull out her phone, and she had recorded the phone conversation. And the things that he didn't say to her. Told her, you started off with gangbangs. Now all of a sudden you got a problem? Bitch, I pay you to do the things my wife won't do. I pay you to shut your mouth. And if I don't put something in it, I pay for your mouth to be shut. Honey, that phone conversation was going. Everybody in that room was disgusted. You could see him crumbling in that seat. Honey, I looked at Charlie's face and my heart was breaking. You hear me? I said, oh my God. Before he could even say, he said, Melina, I'm sorry. Charlie stood up and she told her, she said, I am sorry. I am so sorry. And she walked out of that room, and that bastard walked behind her, and she told him, we are done. We are over. You are a monster, and in the process, you made me a monster as well. I said, yeah, ain't no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that, baby. You might as well know that Remy just as good as got your motherfucking woman. They're going to take a minute, but Remy just as good as got your woman, man. You're going to be back in court again. The rest of what you got left over, you're not going to have that either. I was so done. And I was so glad that they actually did finish this up in this episode because I would have just died if I had to wait till next week. This was the best. And I thought the first and second episode this was the best episode so far. This shit is just too damn good. All right, so again, I'm sorry about it being late. Damn, y'all. Yeah, I'll see y'all next week. All right, y'all. Later. Bye.